Okay, so welcome to Let's Talk the Football Edition. So today we're going to be doing England. So we're going to be doing the team that the 26th that they've picked. We're going to be reviewing the game, England, Austria, and just having a little talk about the up and coming game for England and Romania and just the chances, what we think England have got. And then we're going to be going on to the manager merry-go-round. There's so many managers changing at the moment. So have a little talk about that. And we've got our special guest today, main man Owen. You want to say hello?
Hey,
Owen.
And yeah, so we're just going to kick it straight off. So, Shaun, do you want to talk about the game?
Yeah. It wasn't a great game. You could tell that like a lot of players hadn't played together for a while. Some of them looked tired, it was an okay performance. They got the win, I give them that. But what the problem I had was once, especially in the second half, is when they scored the goal, they kind of just sat back. They did that whole that Mourinho thing when he was the Spurs manager, score a goal and you just sit back and park the bus. That can't happen, Also, I think in the first half, Kane, who was meant to be the main guy up front, because all season he's been getting a lot of assists and been dropping deep.
Yeah.
There was no runners either in behind for him to pick him out. But also, when the wide players wanted to cross the ball in, because he keep dropping deep, there's no target man in the box.
Yeah, no one in there.
Put the ball in. There's no one there, yeah. But also, I don't know what it is, but when you watch Austria pass the ball around, and then when you watch England pass the ball around, sometimes it looks really frantic, the way England pass the ball around. It looks kind of nervous and they pass the ball around. But when you watch Austria pass the ball around, it just looked calm and just more natural, and that's the style, that kind of style of football. Obviously, England had a few players that weren't playing, but I give credit to players like Saka. Saka played really well. Got to give him credit. Pickford played very well as well. I thought Cody and Minks, to be fair to them, they were pretty solid at the back. They weren't too bad. And to be fair, Trippier, bear in mind he's not even a left back. I think he's done all right. So, yeah, it was an all right performance. It can only get better. Let's hope. So, yeah. What do you think?
You didn't agree with that, Owen, did you, with the defence?
No, well, especially Mings anyway, because I don't know if you saw it. When Austria put a cross into the box, he was in the defensive line, and then as their striker came in, he just planted his feet and just literally clotheslined him in box. And there was no VAR last night.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, there was no VAR, and they were saying if they reviewed that, he'd have either got a yellow card or sent off, and it'd been a penalty. And if we have to call up on him in the finals, I think he's a liability, to be honest. And I think Cody as well in the back four. In a back three, I think he'd be all right. But a back four, I just think he's a bit shaky and all. But I think my main point in the game was, like you said, Shaun, the Harry Kane. He did it in Russia 2016. There was a stat he had 0 touches in the game. And we were flat that game. He needs to be up there, because I know he's had some, but he hasn't got some with him now. Every time the ball came out, he was on the edge of the box. But I think he needs to be up there and let Grealish or Mount, whoever comes in, do the creativity, because he's shown how good he is up front. But when he drops in for England, it's just
it's pointless.
We didn't really create anything, and we didn't even threaten them. We won, but their keeper had not much to do. Pickford probably had more to do.
Do you think the team that he picked, though, do you think it was creative enough? Because I'm just looking at the team now that he started. So you've got Grealish and Lingard. They're more of a they play more central now. They don't really play out wide as much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking, you've both said about Kane's dropping in, and he kind of needs them wingers, a Sancho, a Sterling type player, Rashford, who goes out wide. So do you think it was just the wrong team?
Well, I don't think. No, I think there's plenty of creativity in there. I just think that also. But then
I get the creativity. Creativity. My thing is that Grealish and Lingard, they cut in, don't they? They play with more central players. As a Sancho and a Sterling are more wide out there, and I think Kane would probably have suited that better. So do you reckon last night was just for the fact that he just played his sort of B team and?
I think because it's the first game Austria, I don't feel we can take too much from it.
No.
Like I said, on Sunday, I think it's the big one, because obviously Mount, Foden, Walker, all these boys, they'll be back on Sunday. So I think even though it's a warm-up game, it's the last game before tournament. I think that's where he needs to play strongest team and show us how good we are, because last night were flat, but they can be excused, I think, because like you said, it wasn't his first choice team. I think the team he had, like, I don't think they were built to actually go out and win well. But
how many of them players that played last night are going to start in the first game? 2. Pickford and Kane.
Rice.
Yeah,
Rice 3.
Probably, yeah, maybe 3, 4 max.
What was the point in last night? Do you know what I mean? Like, what was the point?
Okay, so this is my. I understand what you're saying, but this is my point. Do you not think? I know we've got all this. I just noticed, have all the World Cup qualifiers all finished? Because I thought to myself, instead of having these 2 warm-up games for the actual tournament, to make them more competitive, maybe.
But you don't want a competitive match. You don't want a competitive match before a major tournament because you don't want to get an injury, do you? Like a friendly, it was a friendly last night. It's a friendly. It's an exhibition. You don't want injuries.
Yeah, I know. I get that, but just straight away get that automatic that mindset of every game counts and every game matters. That's why I thought maybe they could have done.
I mean, every game does count anyway. I mean, I do get your point with that, but I think every game does count anyway because at the end of the day, you're playing for your place, aren't you? Like if, let's say, Saka scored a hat trick last night. Saka scored a hat trick last night. Chances are he could start in the first game. Like, do you know what I mean? Like if you show something, do you know what I mean? So I get your point that it should have been more competitive, but then you don't want injuries, do you? So
that's what I was trying to say about like the Romania game on Sunday. Like I think that's the thing. What Sean's saying, like Romania, I think you might get an injury, but that game's a week till the tournament. You've got to actually go out and show us, like, you've got to play for it because if you play a warm game like last night and do it again on Sunday, you go into Croatia, you'll be coming at you full throttle in a tournament and we're half asleep. Yeah. Like they did his semi-finals last time. There was good side. Like on Sunday, we could risk an injury, but we've got to go out and go for it on Sunday. I think.
I just don't really get last night. I just don't really understand. I think I sort of get why you picked 33 players, wasn't it? I sort of get why you picked 33, but then I don't understand why you played the 33 last night. I just don't see the point. I just don't I just don't see the point. He's giving him a cap, but I just don't see the point.
Yeah, but I reckon. Yeah, but let's be honest. I reckon if the Chelsea and Man City players weren't taking time off, they would have played in this game. Those guys would have played. He would have played this team in both matches.
Yeah, I think that's the reason he named the 33 because Lingard and them lot, like they had to play last night because obviously there's that many from City and Chelsea. There's a good 5 or 6 of them, so they weren't there. We'd have probably no one to play last night. So I think
we didn't even have a left back. We didn't have a actual left back somehow.
No. I think he only had really Saka, but
obviously Man U players, isn't there?
If you only take Saka out, then obviously there's Foden and Mount gone out of that place. So it was short, so I get it last night, to be fair. But
to be fair, they done like the B team against pretty much Austria's first team. Apart from I think they've lost 2 of their players weren't playing. They've done the job. You know, a win's a win. Yeah. Even though there's a bit suspect defending, especially by somebody. I thought Ben White done all right, to be fair, when he come on. I don't know what Godfrey was doing the other way. By the way, you think Godfrey and Pickford would have like arguably the best communication on the pitch? They play with each other. And Godfrey, bloody hell, man, he almost put the ball in the back of the net.
But it was like once he did that as well, they put a ball in and Pickford, like, he saved it. Yeah, he went to grab it and then Godfrey just smashed it out. It's like you said, they played together all season, so it's like
it's a bit different though. You know what I mean? International stage, a bit more. Yeah.
But I feel for Godfrey because like I think he has deserved it, but I think it was like a fish in a big sea last night. Like he looked a bit out of depth, but like I said, Ben White, he come I think like defensive midfield, but he looked comfortable.
I wish I probably wouldn't have got good odds, but when Ben White first started for Leeds, I said I went to go watch him, and I said he will play for England. As soon as I watched him, he will play for England. He was the best player on the pitch. I don't think I'd have got good odds, to be fair, but he's quality, Ben White. He's just level-headed and when he was at Leeds, he was just so calm on the ball. And you can tell when you watch a play, you can tell the ones that are going to like make it, and you could definitely tell them we're going to make it.
That's true. Trent looks like he's out injured and potentially out. That didn't look good.
I'm gutted for him, but I think it's a blessing in disguise, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that as well.
Because the fact he took 4 right backs, he made the point, oh, they're all 4 good footballers, which I get, but I think he bottled it a bit because I think either one which he dropped would have been a controversial decision. So I think Trent getting injured will miss him, but I think it gives a chance to actually take an extra midfielder now because I think we are kind of short in there. And you miss his set pieces now. So I think people might agree, but Ward-Prowse for me is probably the best replacement now because he's got set pieces in him. He's probably we've got a lot of youngsters in midfield now. I think he'd bring a bit of experience. I think he'd do a job, to be fair, but I think him getting injured is a disappointment, but it's probably a blessing in disguise, to be honest.
That's true. But the thing is, you know what's fascinating? The set pieces were actually pretty good last night. I thought Saka and Trippier, like their set pieces were pretty good.
Set pieces though. Trippier's
good. He's very good. Like, you see the thing, I'm not like people might say, oh, Trippier might not start next in the first game, but I really don't see why he wouldn't. If England play 3 at the back, for example, if they play 3 at the back, I can Walker will probably play as a centre off.
Yeah.
Alongside maybe Maguire and Stones or something like that. But the other right back, it would be between maybe Reece James or Trippier. So
I think I think if England are going to take on a team where I'm wanting them to attack them, I think Croatia. I think they're there for the beating. I think England should be beating Croatia, and I think if it is that case, then I'd go Trippier. But I think if it's a team where I think a France, a Belgium, a team that you think, whoa, like we could be in trouble there, Reece James. I think Reece James, because I think what he did to Sterling in the Champions League, he made him look like a little boy.
And you know, he played centre half, didn't he? He played centre back.
Yeah,
he can play centre back. Yeah,
I think the only reason Sterling's actually got in squad is because he was hiding in James's pocket. To be honest, it's the only way. I can't have him in squad at all. Sterling.
I think they see that he's on in reputation, don't he? It's literally reputation's put him in the squad.
But the thing is, if you look at our forward players, our most consistent forward player this season has been Foden. If you don't, apart from Kane in the front 3, the wingers, I don't think obviously Rashford is maybe been injured. Yeah, Sancho's had injuries, but he's come back towards the end of the season when it mattered and done good. Rashford has kind of, I think he's been knackered. He looks tired, like really, really tired. So his season has petered out and not being great. And you got Sterling, so it's just like unless you play Grealish up there. I thought Grealish played all right yesterday. I don't think that Kane was also just getting in his way. But I thought Grealish played pretty well. He just makes me nervous when they tackle him because I just think they just foul him all the time.
No, there were one last night where they fouled him. He kept going, fouled him again, and they snapped him. Like they did 3 in 30 seconds. It's just like he's playing with a knock anyway. Like. I think he'd be massive if he got injured because last night he was the only one who actually, he just like, once he got the ball, he was going forward with it. Because I think we looked so like when Rice got it or Bellingham, like we're just playing it backwards. Like with him, he was carrying us forward.
And this is my point. I think if Alex Arnold's injured, Lingard goes. And for that point you just made.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what you're missing in the middle. I think a Grealish. And I think if he gets injured, he can't play every game. I think you need that attacking spark. And I think Lingard's that attacking spark.
I just thought we were very passive. Not enough runs in behind for what we had. It was passive. Like everyone was coming to the ball.
Yeah. I think like I'm trying not to take too much from the game because like I think there was just a lot of like complacency in the performance, to be honest. Like I said, I think they're kind of like trying to shield themselves for the tournament, but like
but you can
Sunday's got to be different. Like I'm only giving that bypass tonight because like if that was the last game before the tournament, I'd be fuming. But Sunday's got to be different. Like it's got to be.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. But I'm not like
as well. Yeah, add in a couple of players. Add in a Mount. Add in a Foden. Add in a Sancho. Add in a Rashford. It's a different team, isn't it? You know what I mean? So it's.
That's what I'm saying. Like last night wasn't all doom and gloom because like there was a lot of things against us. Like obviously missing players and stuff. And at the end of the day, we still won. We weren't great, but like I say, it's just for me. Once everyone's back, get the job done on Sunday, and then go from there.
Yeah. Was Phillips injured? Because he didn't play.
His shoulder. They didn't want to risk him, but he said he's fine, but they just didn't want to risk him.
Yeah, I thought. To be fair, I'm not lying. Towards the end of the game, there was one time when Pickford ran and jumped for the ball, and he fell on his arm, and I thought he'd done his shoulder again, but I hope he's all right because he was solid.
His kicking is unreal. Like that's the one thing. Like with his feet, he is quality. And to be fair, he made a couple of good saves last night.
He's a good tournament keeper, Pickford. He's a good tournament keeper. If you remember in the World Cup, he was a good tournament keeper. I think I think Nick Pope is obviously he's more like stable, but I think as like a tournament keeper, the big occasions, I feel that Pickford does do a job. To be fair.
But what happens if it goes to penalties? What are we saying? We're putting Henderson in goal.
No, you keep Pickford in. We've won one with Pickford. I stick with him.
Fair.
Let's hope we go to penalties with Spain and they stick De Gea in goal.
Oh my gosh.
I think they'd rather stick even though.
How many is it now? 36? Is it 36 he's letting? Something like that.
Yeah.
He might not even be number one anymore. De Gea might not even be the number one, but
no, I don't think he is anymore.
No, but
what do you think then chances? What do you think? Where are England going to come?
They need to change their style of football. I'll tell you, they can't just play this passive football if they want to get anywhere in this tournament. They need to be a bit more aggressive, more, stop coming to feet and more passive. Because if not, they'll just about they'll get out of the group. But that's about that. And that's nothing more. They'll get beaten the next round straight away. That's what will happen.
Yeah, I think after our group knockout stage, we've got the group where it's like France, Portugal, or Germany. If we play out against any of them, and we'll get beat easy, to be honest. So we've got massively fixed up from last night.
Yeah, I was just going to say, actually, I was watching a bit of France and Wales. And
France looked good.
They did, but I have to say Wales contained them very well until the red card. And
that red card was a shambles.
It was absolutely such a shocker. Like, what are you supposed to do? And bear in mind, Benzema did look like he hadn't missed. He didn't look like he'd been out of the team for 6 years. The way Benzema was playing for France, I'll tell you that. So he's the real deal. Pogba played really well as well. So. And they didn't even have Kante weren't even playing either.
That's what I mean. I think France are going to win it this year. I think they look scary, like with their team.
Oh, when you look, you've got Griezmann, who for France, he's miles better than
he's mint, isn't he? He's mint.
France's quality, Benzema's quality, Mbappe is obviously the best player in the world in a couple of years. Like Kante is just unreal. Pogba seems to play out of his skin for France instead of club. Like, just you look at all them, it's just like. That wants to be.
Look at the players that they've rejected, like Laporte.
Yeah,
we don't need you, mate.
Macana, Fofana didn't even get in. It's just a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
But
just goalkeeper lets him down. But other than that,
he played all right. Yes, I'll give him credit. He played all right. But he did. But the problem with France is if the pace in behind their defense, you can get at them. That's the only thing. Because Dan James actually was getting in behind. France a couple of times, and Lloris pulled off a couple of saves. You can get at that defence.
That's where if England do play France, and that's where they need Sancho, Rashford, and Sterling.
Yeah, it is, because if we play narrow and wingers coming in against France, we'll get nullified. If you go
Kante will run the midfield as well. That's the problem.
If you go near Kante middle, like you just
it's
not getting through.
Done deal, yeah.
And then what do you think so have you listened to Gareth Southgate's post-match interview? Have you heard it? So he just said something about Jordan Henderson. He said that obviously he's still injured, but they were going to test him out last night, and because he's got he woke up this morning and said, I don't feel 100%, I'm carrying a knock and stuff. And I listened to Talk Sport, and they were kicking off about it, saying, "Well, why are you taking him then? Like, if you can't play, what's the point?" So what do you think of that?
No, it's true, because realistically, you would want him, if he's going to play anything, you would want him to play in this friendly or the next one before before the tournament starts, because
he's been out for what is it, 6 months?
He's been out for absolutely ages.
Yeah, so it's like because I listened to Jimmy O'Hara and he said that he will not be fit. He said it'll take you games to get back to match fitness. So they would argue in the case of what's the point. But then I could sort of see that you get to quarterfinals and you 1-0 up against France or whatever. You bring him on for 20 minutes. He's that leader. He's that, if you only need for 20 minutes and you've got a 26-man squad now, not a 23, you've got a 26. Can you take a play like that? Just for leadership, just for 20 minutes.
But can he last? Will he be able to get up to speed that quick?
Yeah,
for 20 minutes, though. Can he last 20 minutes?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. He needs to get up to speed that quick. He's going to be able to do that. Not picking up another injury.
Henderson, I've watched him for years as a Liverpool fan. He's one of those players. He's got. I know every player is, but he run through a brick wall. Like he'll if he's 75% fit going into a game, he'll get injured because he'll put his head down. Like he's either got to be 100% fit, you can't, or you get rid of him out of squad because no matter what, I know he's good for changing rooms, but you give someone who's earned a spot in that team and who's fit over it. Because if Henderson's not 100% fit, he doesn't go for me. Because like when he does play, he's only good when he's fully fit. Because if he's 75% fit, you lose what he is. What he is, like, I don't think he's technically an unbelievable player, but it's his energy and his like leadership. Yeah. And if he isn't fit enough to do that, I'd just rather not take him. Same with Maguire, innit? I think he's again, I think he's massive. Like them two players are huge for the midfield and the defence. But
for me, Maguire is more of a. I would take Maguire and risk it that he wasn't going to be fit for the group stages, but would be fit for knockout just because of how poor the standard is for the centre backs who would be replacing him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas the midfield, I kind of feel that with the midfield, you've actually got some good players in there. You've got Rice, you've got Phillips, you've got Mount, you've got Bellingham, you've got Ward-Prowse if he gets called up. So I think you're kind of all right, but you would miss that leadership. That's the only thing.
No, I agree with that. I can't disagree with that.
Yeah. Right, should we go on to manager merry-go-round?
Yeah, it's crazy. Bonkers.
So where do we start? Should we start from the top and work our way down?
Yeah.
We'll start with Spurs then. What is going on?
Well, it's a nightmare, isn't it? You don't know. First of all, like they're talking to Pochettino. I don't know why he would even consider going back there. It's clearly
they were talking to him, so he must be considering it.
Yeah, maybe just having a catch up over FaceTime, see how things are going. You know what I mean? How things are going now. He's
not very well.
I got 2 trophies. I got 2 more than you. Just having a catch up. I don't know. You know what I mean? Over coffee. But I don't know. That is just ridiculous. I don't see why he would go back there. Obviously, I think like I can't see PSG wouldn't sack him. The only problem he's got is the only reason I thought that there was only a 2% chance of him being sacked was the fact that they didn't win the league. I know they won the cups, but when you look at PSG, the way they are and the team and all the start that they have, winning the league is probably like a given.
Yeah,
a lot of the time, and they didn't win the league. So, but no, he can't go there. Conte would be good for Spurs, I think.
I'd hate it if he went there.
I would as well. I would because I think like he'd get all the rubbish out, get them organised, make them much harder to beat, and they play good attacking football. He'd get them organised. He'd turn them around. He would turn them around. It might take him a season or 2 or whatever maybe, but he would turn around. Look what he did to Inter Milan. Because Inter Milan they're doing all right. But look, he turned them around. I'm not saying Spurs are going to win the league, but I'm just saying he will turn them around and turn them into a top 4 side because that's the kind of manager he was. He demands the highest.
Yeah. And it's like it turns players who like either rejects or you've seen a couple of
Sanchez.
Yeah, it was like even when he at Chelsea when he won league, like Victor Moses.
Victor Moses, yeah.
Like, we had him on loan. He went to Stoke on loan. Like couldn't get a game. He played every game for Conte, and he was unbelievable. Like I think players like him, like Bielsa and Klopp, like players buy into their systems. Managers, some players don't. Like under Conte, I think the players just buy into what he does, and and I think the way he scouts his players as well, he knows what he wants. And like Victor Moses, like for clubs, he's average, but for him, he's unreal.
What I think he does is, I think what he does is he just looks for the type of player he wants and just gets that player. It doesn't matter who the player is, like Ashley Young, Victor Moses. You know what I mean? Like if you remember the Italian squad, he had Gabbiadini up front, and they got to semi-finals. Like they're unbelievable. And I think he works out a system, and then just it don't matter as long as don't matter what position you're playing, as long as you can fit the mold what he wants for that position, you're in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Top 5 manager right now?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think Conte's brilliant. I can't believe Tottenham are going for him, to be honest.
That might be even better because if Conte goes to the Spurs, then I reckon Kane will probably stay. I reckon he could stay.
I think the only reason they spoke to Poch, I don't think Poch was interested. I think he used that as a way of getting a new contract with PSG or getting PSG to give him some money to spend. And I think it was just a ploy for that. I don't think he was interested. Why would you leave a Champions League team that's going to win the league this year to go to a project at Spurs where they've sacked you to a team that was worse than what you left? Like that just doesn't make any sense.
Like if Poch went there, Spurs for me, you never know, but they just would go nowhere because he had years there. They got to a Champions League final, but they just went downhill from there. And obviously,
it's a worse team. Yeah, it's a worse team what he left. It just doesn't make any sense.
Like with Conte, he'd bring in a different regime, a different shape. He'd bring in fresh players, and he'd build it up. He'd build his own team, and it'd just be massive. Like it might not go well, but as a Spurs, like if you was a Spurs fan, you'd 100% rather see something different you haven't seen before and see if
they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. If you listen to Spurs fans, they want Poch back.
If he comes back, you know what you're getting with him.
Yeah, no.
Like,
but they're used to Mourinho, aren't they? They're used to negative football. They were used to Poch with beautiful football, even though he didn't win anything. It was still beautiful. Because some Spurs fans have been saying he's the most successful manager we've ever had. He didn't win anything.
Nah,
he didn't win anything. I don't think he got you into the Champions League final, but he didn't win it.
Won something. Nah, or was it one day Ramos one of them? But
that's the thing. Why, like I love it with like Spurs where they are at the moment because for me they're absolutely. But with Conte going there, I wouldn't like it because
it's a game changer. Yeah,
he's a winner. And
I think with Harry Kane,
Mourinho was a winner, but obviously, like, it is football. Back 10 years ago would have been he'd have won the league with them because he did it with Chelsea. But football's not that anymore. Conte, like he did it at Chelsea, went to Inter Milan, did the exact same, 3 at the back, won the league with them, transformed them. Like, not saying they will, like Shaun said, but it'll make them a lot better team than what they are now. 100%.
I think the deal is, so with just going back to what I was saying earlier, what Daniel Levy is looking at doing is he wants to keep Harry Kane. He's had the conversation with Harry Kane. If I can get a world-class manager in, you stay for a year. If it don't work, then you go. Yeah. But if it does work, we're going to build and we're going to go for the titles and stuff like that. And I think he's gone for Poch. Poch has obviously mugged them off. And I think now they're going for Conte. And he said, look, I'm getting you a world-class manager here. Like this is where we're going. Do you know what I mean? You want to be on this. You want to be on this train where we're going. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what he's trying to do. But I think it depends if they're going to spend money. That's because that team needs investment as much as he can use an Ashley Young type player, a Sanchez. You know, the dross players to fill in holes. That defense needs a new defense.
Not yet.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but also you know what Conte will do as well with that team, whatever squad he has. He will go for every single trophy that is available.
Yeah.
Because some managers, never mind the top managers, obviously, I'm not saying they don't rotate the squad, but like it seems as if maybe they'll, maybe fob off maybe like the FA Cup or the League Cup or something like that and go for something else. He will go for everything.
Yeah.
He's not one of those coaches to mess around. He will go for the League Cup or go for FA Cup, Conference League, but he will go for it.
Yeah, and you've got to remember as well, Spurs, they haven't won a trophy in like nearly 15 years. So like, that's what I just, like I say, I'd just say it if he went there because for me, he's class.
It wouldn't surprise me if they won a trophy. If he goes there, I wouldn't be surprised if they won a trophy.
They'll win something with it.
In his first season, I could see him win a trophy if he goes there.
Even if it's just that Conference League, they'll win something.
Yeah. So that's one manager. Next.
But one thing I'm going to say just before we go on to the other ones, I was listening to someone and they said that the reason they think that there's this manager merry-go-round of everyone is because there's no money in football because of COVID and you can't buy players anymore, so they're going for the best managers. And I think that's what's happened. I think that's why they're all going for the best managers now. And I think one team that I wanted to touch on that I think are going to struggle next year is Man U. Because I think all the teams are improving their managers and Man U haven't. And I don't think Solskjaer is, and I think he proved this in the European Cup. He's not an elite manager, and he's going to go against elite managers now. Look at the league we've got: Klopp, Guardiola, Conte, Tuchel. That's just 4 that I've mentioned. Do you know what I mean? World class managers against Solskjaer.
I don't know if he's world class, but Rodgers is.
I was going to say,
Rodgers up there as well. Yeah.
Rodgers wins. They're all winners. He's Solskjaer.
That's what I mean. And I think Man U are going to struggle next year. I don't think they'll struggle. I don't think they're going to finish mid-table or anything like that. But I mean, I don't think they're going to compete for the league like the other teams are. Because I think Chelsea will definitely be up there next year, and City obviously will be up there next year as well. Won't they? Right, next one, Everton.
You can't blame Ancelotti for doing that. Like, I'm not being funny. If Real Madrid come calling, it's your old team. What?
But he didn't even do that well there, did he?
Where Real Madrid? No,
he won the Champions League. He won the Champions League, but 3 years he didn't win the league. They finished third.
Yeah, but Luke, just hear what you said. He didn't do well, but he won the Champions League.
One Champions League in 3 years for Real Madrid.
Oh, come on, that's not that. That's not that bad.
Zidane won 3 Champions Leagues.
No, he would have won another trophy. That's not the only trophy he would have won. There's no way because he definitely would have won another trophy. That's the fact. He definitely didn't just win the Champions League in 3 seasons. No way.
He must have won La Liga once, surely.
Or even the other cup. Definitely.
But that's a Mickey Mouse Cup.
Yeah, but you can't blame him. You can't blame him for going back to thing.
I don't blame him.
I'm actually glad he did. I'm actually glad he did because I'm sick and tired of him always messing Liverpool up when we played him. So I'm kind of play against him. So I'm glad. I think he's still bitter about getting beat in 2005. So ever since then, he's set his teams up better and he's been getting better results against us. You know what I mean? So, but he's a top manager. He really is a top manager, and he goes under the radar. Think about that AC Milan team that he had. It was a joke.
Oh, unbelievable
joke. What have you found, Luke?
Right, he won the Champions League with Real Madrid 2013. He won the Club World Cup with them. Yes. He won the Spanish Cup.
That's big fitting over there. That's like the FA Cup.
And that's it.
So he won 3 trophies in 3 years. Fair play to him.
But he didn't win the league. He didn't win the league. But in 3 seasons, Real Madrid with a Gareth Bale and a Ronaldo. Gareth Bale in his prime and Ronaldo in his prime, and he only won the Champions League.
What year?
2013. He had Gareth Bale there, didn't he?
No, I'm sorry, but that Barcelona team was a joke. I'm sorry. That Barcelona.
To be fair, if he didn't win a Champions League, but
I'll give him credit for even winning the Champions League in that era.
Xavi Alonso, he had Luka Modric, James Rodriguez, Ozil, Isco, Kaká, Gareth Bale, Di Maria, Ronaldo, Benzema, Morata. Like, you're telling me that team shouldn't have won 1 league in 3 years?
Okay, well, let's name
1 league in 3 years. It should have finished above Atletico Madrid. They finished 3rd.
Above Atletico Madrid? That team,
Barcelona, Atletico Madrid.
That team was the Atletico Madrid team, which was like the best
Casillas in goal.
They won the league on the last game of the season. And remember, that Atletico Madrid team had like the best defense in Europe.
This is the thing with Atletico as well. Like, it's always and always will be Real Madrid and Barcelona. If they get overlooked so much, Atletico, they won't league again this year. Simeone, for me, he's the other one. He's the other one, like Conte. I'd hate him over here because unless he came to us, because I think he's quality and all. They're so underrated, Atletico. Like, it's like they got to Champions League final against Madrid and that. And it's just like,
oh yeah, brilliant.
Twice. It came within seconds of winning the first one.
Oh, that Ramos.
That one, yeah, I remember that one.
Was that when Ancelotti was the manager?
Probably.
Yeah.
Right, back to Ancelotti, because I want to get this point in as well, right? So back to him, right? This is why I don't agree that Real Madrid. I agree he should have gone to Real Madrid because it's the biggest job. But I don't think Real Madrid should have gone for him. And the other reason is the last 2 jobs he's had is Napoli, where he flopped, and Everton. And if you say Everton is a success, it's a joke. They finished 10th. He's spent money and he's been there for 2 years. Leeds have just got promoted, spent less money, and we finished 9th. He has not done good for the last 2 jobs. However, he just got the Real Madrid job.
Well, hold up. Didn't he win the league at Chelsea?
No, his last 2 jobs.
I know what you said, but I'm just saying. He's in the Premier League already. And I'm sure he won the league at Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm not on about that. I'm on about his recent form, like Mourinho. Mourinho is on the decline. Mourinho's on the decline. Ancelotti's on the decline. However, Ancelotti just got the Real Madrid job.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, but he's a bit like a Mourinho, isn't he?
Like he's on the decline.
Like, the stuff Mourinho's done is unreal, but then he went to Spurs and didn't even win a trophy. Like,
to
be fair, Ancelotti probably is on the decline. Like, but
if you put him at a top team, top team, he'll do the business, and that's why Madrid have brought him back.
But then, is he a good coach though? Is he a good coach? Is he a good manager? No, he is a good manager. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, like they always say, if you put Pep at Wolves, they'd still do well. Do you know what I mean? Because he's a really good coach. So what my thing is, and like Sean Dyche, if you put Sean Dyche in at Man City, would he win the league? Because do you know what I mean? Just because they've got the best players, does that mean that you're going to win the league? So Ancelotti, if he's got the best players and he wins the league, does that mean he's the best coach? Because he hasn't been able to do it at a lower club, whereas Sean Dyche has. Sam Allardyce did better. Like, do you know what I mean, for Everton?
That's true. Well, who you have had to put as the Real Madrid manager then?
Conte. I just said Conte, but only because I think Conte is world class.
Well,
but apparently they went for Allegri and they got it all done 2 weeks beforehand. But because they were un and ahhing with Zidane, Allegri went, stuff it, I'm off to Juventus.
You go back to Juventus.
Yeah.
That's the worst one for me, that Allegri.
They just don't make any sense either.
He literally just left.
He left and then he's been on beach for a year, been room with every club going, and then he just done a circle and then just gone back again.
Well, because they got rid of him because they were like, oh, we're going to go in a different direction.
We want to change the philosophy, and then it don't really work, so we'll have you back. We don't want you because we want a trophy. Actually, we can win a trophy, but actually we want you back. Come back.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
But after they were poor this season. They were so lucky to even make the Champions League.
Yeah, Juventus. Yeah.
But and the fact that I think what started Pirlo's demise is the fact that when they lost to Porto in the Champions League, imagine Juventus's holy grail is winning the Champions League now. Forget the league; they want to win the Champions League, and you get beat by a team like Porto. And Porto weren't bad, but that's embarrassing, really, for a team that that will really want to win the Champions League. Bringing Ronaldo in to win the Champions League,
it's funny these teams with holy grail for Champions League though, because hardly any of them have succeeded yet. Like Man City, the Grail has been it since them owners even came in. Still haven't done it.
PSG
haven't
Juventus.
Done it. Juventus haven't done it. The only one is Abramovich that's been able to do it
twice.
Yeah, twice.
But it took him a while. To be fair, it did take him a while. And how they won it the first time, God only knows, because that team was
Bayern absolutely.
Yeah,
it was like Ryan Bertrand played left wing.
Yeah, it was Drogba's day. It was Drogba's day. The one he was unreal Drogba that day. But yeah, so Everton, going back to Everton, probably went off topic. Everton. So Nuno's getting the job. He's the one that they're having talks out there. What do you think? Good appointment or?
Yeah,
why not? He's going to turn them into Portugal, so he might as well. I don't blame him. It's going to be. They're going to. I think he's a decent manager, coach. To be fair, I just thought he just had for me in his last season. Just then, like obviously he brought in Willian Jose, and he just he didn't do well as a striker for them, and they had a lack of goals. That's why they petered out really. But I think for Everton, he's got a better team. Well, probably slightly better team. So I think he'll do a decent job.
I think he'll do all right. Yeah, I think he's quite a safe option, really, isn't he? I think they know he's going to be top half of the table type thing, don't they? So I think he's a safe option.
I think something like criticism this year has been a bit harsh and all because obviously they lost Jota. It was like probably that it was their goals, and then Jimenez. Obviously, what happened to him was shocking. Like they lost him, so they lost the main striker and his partner.
And Doherty as well. Doherty's a big part of the team.
Spurs obviously hasn't done it, but the system that Wolves played him in, it was a main man for him as well. So like they lost two of the main men and then the guy to injury. Like I think he has been unlucky to be fair this season, massively.
Yeah. But I think he's like I said, I think it's a safe option where I think. I don't think he's going to set the world light. He's not a Hollywood name, and I don't think he's going to like Ancelotti when he first came in. You thought Fleming, like Everton, are going to be competing Champions League. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be doing that, but I think he's a safe. They'll get top half at league. They might push on for Europe. They'll do a decent job for him. And then we've got Palace. Next one as well.
Is that Lampard?
No, he's 8-1 now. Lampard. Sean Dyche's the favourite.
Really? What about Eddie Howe? Because Eddie Howe got rejected.
Eddie Howe's rumoured as well.
He got rejected at Celtic, so I can't.
No, he rejected Celtic. He said no to Celtic.
Really?
They fell out. Yeah, they fell out because it took weeks to get sorted, and he wanted his own director of football or something. He wanted his own staffing. He wanted to do everything on his own type thing, and they said no. So I think he'd said no. I don't fancy this.
I think he'd be the best manager for Palace out the others by a mile.
I don't know. He's got relegation under his belt, only
when he was at Bournemouth, like Bournemouth, and I know he obviously doesn't keep you up, but he played very good football, like with them. And I think Palace, like they've got the players to, like Zaha, he probably might go, but if he stays, like Easy, I know he's injured, but like they play good football. Like I think he get the best out of them because I think Dyche. I think the only reason he's got his name is because he does it at Burnley. I'd fear for him.
He deserves a big job. I think Sean Dyche deserves a big job.
I think he deserves his chance, but I'd be a bit worried for him because I don't know if he's got any football in him, to be honest. Like I think he'd keep him up every year.
Yeah, I think he'd keep him up. Yeah, I think he'd keep him up. So the ones in the betting, Steve Cooper, his favourite from Swansea.
No, he's done I can't say he's done a good job. He's done a good job, to be fair to him.
I don't know if he'd do a good job at Palace though. Santo as well. He's up there with Cooper, and then it's Sean Dyche and Eddie Howe. I don't think anyone knows, to be honest. I think it's going to be an obscure one. I think it's going to be someone we've not heard of.
That's true. It probably is.
That Swansea one. I'd put I'd just rule it out straight away. But he's probably not that. But look what Graham Potter did from Swansea. I know he hasn't set the world like Brighton, but the stuff they play,
he played good football and gets
true.
Yeah, true.
The stuff he plays, like they're so unlucky to finish.
And he finished 10th, did Swansea when he was. He got him into player final, didn't he? So.
Like footballing wise, like you got to think as well the players he's got to work with. Like you can't really do much with them, but really, like they should have finished a lot higher this year.
Yeah,
and that'd be Suma as well.
It's true.
Yeah.
But Lampard's not been rumoured with anyone.
You just never know how good he is, to be honest.
If he needs another job, doesn't he? He needs another job to prove himself.
Maybe he should go to Celtic. Maybe Celtic would be good for him.
No, they're getting that Australian from Japan.
Australian from Japan.
Yeah, sounds good, that, doesn't it? No, it's an Australian coach, but he's managing Japan, and then he's apparently what I've heard from him. He's quite a good. He's had a good success rating, but he's one of them where he's got his own style. If he's winning, he's brilliant. If he's not winning and the media get on his back, that's when it sort of falls apart. And with Celtic being a big job, you kind of think it might fall apart.
He's going to be.
But that'll just go 2 ways that won't it?
Yeah. I think Rangers are going to be quite safe, to be honest. They've gone for him before. I don't know if you remember that. Delhi, who they got. Before Rodgers, and he won the league, but it was like you won the league in a one-team league. Like it's not like a thing, and it's it feels a bit like that.
That's the thing.
It's
a bit of a challenge because they aren't the one horse anymore.
No, Rangers.
They've got to put the challenge in now, so be interesting.
Gerrard, do you reckon for any of the jobs we mentioned?
Well, listen, if you went Everton, then boy,
he was rumoured first. In the betting, he was rumoured first, but I don't think he'd take Everton.
Let's be real. If he managed Everton, he just would never manage us. And he said in his interview, like there was an interview a few months back, and he was sat down and like they asked him, and he said his dream is to be Liverpool manager in future. That's what he said. Like that's why I could have never seen it when I saw his odds. I was just like, no chance.
No, I didn't think that either.
I think he'll stay at Rangers a couple of years, and then I think once Klopp moves on, he'll throw his ring at fire like Gerrard.
Yeah. I think he'll get it, to be honest. I think if he carries on at Rangers,
if he does it right, a couple more years, because I think Lampard, I think he peaked too early. He took his chance too early. Chelsea, I think, need a couple more years management.
If you look at the young managers that are getting jobs, Arteta, Lampard, Gerrard, them type of managers. I think Gerrard's in a good team now because it's a 2-horse race. You're going to finish second. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a good job to learn your trade. Yeah. Same with Lampard when he was at Derby. You'd learn your trade. But then when he's gone to Chelsea, Arteta at Arsenal, you both look at them. They're both gone on massive losing streaks. And it's taken them a long time to get... Lampard got sacked. Arteta, it took him a long time to get it back. And he's got it back now. And now he's starting to play. But he's sort of a bit like... You're lucky that Arsenal give you that chance. Do you know what I mean? Because Chelsea didn't give him that chance. Do you know what I mean? To turn it around. So it's these young managers that are getting jobs. You've got to sort of learn your trade first before you can just...
Well, the thing with Lampard is that, like I said, I think he does need another chance because if you look again at what he did at Chelsea, he got on top form.
Yeah, he did. Mason Mount swears by him.
He had that transfer embargo. Yeah. The players he brought through Mount. He brought through that Tomori. Tomori who's looking all right now.
Reece James.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, really, when you look at
Mendy, he brought in Mendy as well. He good man management, getting rid of Kepa,
when you look at what he
Mendy.
did, it's actually not bad when you look at it. So
he built the foundations for a Champions League winning team.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So and Mason Mount swears by him. He swears by Frank Lampard. He's the one that turned his career around.
That another thing with Mount, like he got so much stick, like didn't he? Like saying, "Oh, he's Lampard, love child," and that. He isn't. Like he's just class. Like,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Now look at him. He's first player on team sheet for England. First team sheet for Chelsea.
That's thing, and he gave them that chance, and he got top 4 with all them youngsters, and he couldn't buy anyone. So he definitely deserves another chance.
Yeah, I think that as well. I think obviously I don't like Lampard for the whole Derby thing, but I think if you look at the Derby team that he built there as well, obviously he got a lot of young players through, and he built a very good team at Derby. If you look at where Derby are now, like it's he built a very good.
Yeah.
Harry Wilson, he had Tomori, Mount. He had a good group of players there, and I think what he did at Chelsea that first season was brilliant. Like to finish 4th for the transfer embargo and bring all the kids through, and like you said, bringing all the players that he did bring through, I think he would. I think if he were at a team like Arsenal, he probably would have got a bit more time. But
do you think if he'd won that FA Cup, that might have saved him a little bit?
No.
So
I think with Abramovich, no, and I agree with Abramovich as well because look, you can't disagree. They just won the Champions League.
I get that, but I think that's the only thing keeping Arteta in his job.
I don't. I think Arsenal have invested in Arteta, as in they've invested in this. We're doing a project, and I think the sort of lazy owners that it's probably easy to stick with him than get rid of him.
To be honest, I won't say in this like September, but I think he deserves a chance because if you look, I know the season's obviously it's from last August, but from Christmas, like they've been the top 4 from what they've done, but some players like he's brought through Saka now, like Smith Rowe, like Martinelli, like even Pepe, he's got the best out of him now, and we're definitely not, but we're starting to see glimpses of his price tag. Like I think next season's big for him, Arteta. I think he's hit the ground running now. Like I think he deserves a bit of time. To be fair to him,
but the thing is, when you look at I understand their form recently has been very good, but it's because it's had to be because like to just even get towards the top 10 because it's had to be, and that's it's not even about getting towards the top 4. It's about getting in towards the top 10 because that's how far behind it was. So they needed it to save them from where they was. They were like 13th or whatever down the table. So they needed it. So
that's like the only defense for him. It's my only defense. Like it's the start of the season. It's his first managerial job in it.
Yeah.
So like it from how the season's gone, he's kind of like grown into it and he's progressed through the season. So like that's why I would give him a chance. But I agree. Like start season, he looked out of his depth. But I think he did. Next season's big for him and Arsenal, to be honest.
No, but how do you compete though? Just a quick one on next season. How do Arsenal compete? How does it compete? The Man U are going to spend money. Even though I said I think they're going to struggle, they're going to spend money. Even though I don't think they'll win the league, they are going to spend 150 million. Man City are going to spend 150 million. Chelsea are going to spend 150 million, and they've both got world-class coaches. Tottenham might spend 150 million with a world-class coach in Conte. Liverpool are going to spend 100 million with a world-class coach in Klopp. Leicester are going to spend money. How do Arsenal compete? How do they have a good season?
Don't forget West Ham either. Bear in mind, West Ham might.
No, but West Ham aren't going to be up there next year. They're not. West Ham will not be up there next year. Not like I just said. All the money that is going to be spent with the top clubs, they shouldn't be up there next year.
So, out of all those clubs that you've named, realistically, only Spurs should be above them.
What do you mean?
Because you named all the top. Basically, all the big clubs, all those big clubs.
It's Chelsea, Man U, City, Liverpool, Spurs. Yeah, they're all going to spend money. That's what I mean. They're all going to spend money.
That's what I'm saying. So they should finish around 7th then, just behind.
Yeah. But I don't. It's what 7th? I don't think that's like. I don't think that's. It's not the Champions League.
West Ham, but
yeah. But I don't think they're not worth a mention for me. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. I do think they're going to spend some money though, but we'll see.
I think Leeds are going to spend money. I think Leeds are going to have a better season, but do I think they're going to compete with the top 4? No, not a chance. Because they can't compete.
Top 7 though, you can. Well, top.
Yeah. But not top 4.
No, it's going to be fascinating. It is going to be fascinating. A lot of ins and out players have gone in and out and left on a free and stuff like that.
I think with West Ham though, like. Obviously, they shouldn't have been where they were this season, but they've got Europa League, so they'll bring in. They'll have attraction for some players. Yeah, so like I can't see it, but you can't say they won't do it again next year because, like Leicester, they randomly won league and then they've shown for the past 5 years now that they're a top 6 side. So I can't see it happening. But West Ham, you got to give them a bit of credit.
Oh yeah, I'll give them credit, but I just the reason I said that list though is like I think that list are going to compete for the league, and Arsenal want to break into that Champions League bracket. I can't see how they're ever going to push on to that Champions League bracket. Do you know what I mean?
I don't see them doing it with them. I don't see them doing it with this manager either.
But I think he's doing okay, Arteta. But I just don't see them taking points off the bigger clubs where the bigger clubs are going.
It's true. It's true. But would you say they're still quite a big, attractive club that can still attract some decent players? They can still attract decent players.
I think all Premier League teams can, all like the top half of Premier League teams can attract decent players though.
True.
It depends what type of player you're thinking. Do I think they can attract a Gareth Bale? No. Or a Hazard? No. But do I think they can get a player that, from the Spanish league or the French league?
If they did what they did with Partey and just bought his buyout clause and took him there, then you never know.
He ain't done that well though, has he?
No, but I know. But look, I'm honest, he is a top player. But look, I can't believe he left. Obviously,
they can buy anyone they want to. Look at Pepe. Like they can buy a player if they spend the money. But
I just don't think the scouting system's great with Arsenal.
No.
Like Bielsa. He'll do it again this summer. Like he'll bring in a name you've never heard of, and he'll be quality.
It's not Bielsa. It's Victor Orta that does it for us.
Well, yeah, but like they'd have scouted these players for a long time, and they'll fit that exact system. Like with Arsenal, because they're not going to attract big players, they need to actually scout these players and get them up. And then if they do happen to break into top 6 somehow, that's when their attraction will start again. Like they need to bring in these players and build up again. Because like you said, if they
Look at Leicester.
That's what
Leicester do. Yeah.
Like you said, and then now they broke into that top 6, they've stayed. Like if Arsenal don't do that, they'll never get back in.
I don't think they will get back in.
No.
That's my point. I don't think they will, and it's a point that with the ownership that they've got at the moment, I cannot see how they will break back in unless you have a project where you're gonna like a Leicester, like a Leeds. Because I can see Leeds breaking in there a couple of years because it's a project. They're building something. Yeah. They're bringing in the youth. They're bringing in the recruitment, and they're building something. With Arsenal, it just feels a little bit gun ho with everything. And with the ownership that they've got, that they're not going to be a Chelsea where they're going to throw 200 million in a season, a Man U 200 million in a season, a Man City 200 million in a season. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do a project because they're too lazy and they're not involved enough. I cannot see how they're going to break into that top.
It's
top
like
6.
their fans at Arsenal Fan TV. They've wanted, obviously, like they've wanted everyone at the top out for so long. Like I think even if they ended up going back down again, like not relegated, but like I think they need to start from the top and just like a full fresh start.
No, but they've always wanted somebody out, though, haven't they? Like we want Wenger out. Wenger goes. We want Emery out. Right? All right. We'll go. We want the owners out.
No, they mean the owners. They want the owners out.
No, but it was Wenger at first, though.
Oh yeah.
No, but after all those years, it was time for him to go.
Yeah, but he got on 4th. They were 4th now.
No, but even with 9th, like they wanted him out, that Kroenke at the top, like because Arsenal's like his little bit of pocket money, like
I know.
Like I think the fans they'd rather want some, even if they don't know about football, actually back the club and build them up again because, like you say, I think Arteta might be the right man, but. The people have got top, they're just not going to go anywhere with them. Because like you said, they're not backing them.
Unless you do a project or unless you put the money in, you don't have a chance.
No.
But brilliant. So that's us done. So thanks very much, Owen, for coming on. Hope you enjoyed it, mate. Cheers. And we'll get you on again. So we're going to be doing Tuesday and Fridays now. We're going to be football. So we're going to be doing all the Euros. So we're going to be doing reviewing the England games, viewing the other nations' games and stuff like that, and giving our verdicts and stuff. So please check that out for us and keep watching. And please subscribe, click that notification button. And Shaun, do you want to finish?
Yeah. As Luke said, click and subscribe. Check out our Facebook page, Instagram page, Carlsport page at Let's Talk with Shaun and Luke. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers, guys.